All right. So we are back, and basically by here, the title, we are going to be covering Friday Night SmackDown. Good episode, good episode. We're also talking about some other big things. Keith Lee, almost, I guess, dying, having a story on that. Um, there's also AEW Rampage, and I'm going to speak about my thoughts on that and what I think, about it. Uh, the Garganos, Johnny and Candice LeRae, are actually expecting a child, so there's something there. Uh, but first I want to start off by this podcast by talking about a wrestler who has passed away, fortunately. Um, Dominic Danucci, he was a wrestler. He sadly passed away at the age of 89. Um, he was born in Venice, Italy. He was a trail in wrestling, but that spanned the global from early career beginnings in Canada, Australia, and Japan, and the Midwestern of the United States. Danucci debuted in New York City for WWE in 1967. Formidable pairing with Bruno Sammartino saw both Italians wrestle to capture the WWE International Tag Team Champions in 71. Danucci would later win the WWE World Tag Team Championships alongside Victor Rivera and Dino Bravo. He also would go on to challenge the inaugural Intercontinental Champion Pat Patterson multiple times before the end of his 15-year run with the company. I'd like to send my condolences to Danucci's family, friends, and fans who have watched him in the past. We're going to start off with one of the biggest things here, and this is Roman Reigns and John Cena meeting face to face. Shinsuke Nakamura, King Shinsuke, challenging Intercontinental Champion Apollo Crews. Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks will take part in their contract signing and some action that come our way. But first, let's kick the show off. How it starts. John Cena says all he needs to beat Roman Reigns at SummerSlam for the Universal title. 1, 2, 3. Tell me how many fucking times he said that. How many times John Cena has said that? Like, unbelievable. It's unbelievable by the fact that Cena has to say 1, 2, 3 more than fucking once. I love Cena. He was my favorite wrestler when coming into when being a fan of WWE. He was obviously the first fucking guy I laid eyes on. I was like, who? I asked, my mom, I think I told you a story of how I got into wrestling. It was my mom's former boss who loved wrestling, and I used to, I sometimes would go to work with her, and he got me into wrestling, and I loved it. I loved the action. I loved the, fighting, He told me, obviously, he knew it was fake too, but again, I don't care. He loved it. I loved it, and I asked him like, who's the big guy? Who's the guy of WWE? Who's the face WWE? And he said John Cena, and at the time it was true. John Cena was the face, and I liked him. He was probably my first favorite wrestler in the WWE, other than Triple H, and I've said this a couple times. The minute when I fell in love with Triple H, it was 2013. He returned, and it was lead up to WrestleMania. It was beating Lesnar's ass. He was literally beating Lesnar's ass. A badass as he came out wearing the jacket, and he went after Lesnar and beat his ass. Should I have watched SummerSlam 2012 prior, seeing Lesnar actually breaking Triple H's arm? But that was the first, ever wrestling thing I've heard, The first pay-per-view I've ever watched was Survivor Series 2012. The first time I ever heard about WWE was when they promoted SummerSlam 2012. I was happy. So, with that, I just loved it. But we're talking about Roman Reigns, the Universal Champion, and John Cena. This face to face was really great. Cena went on and on about his accolades, but Reigns also just sat there, you know, light, lightheaded. Lightheaded Reigns was. He just didn't care. All Roman cared about, really, maybe completely honest, all Roman cared about was that he didn't have to gloat like Cena did. And that's something that really throws their characters into different ways. Cena obviously has to, get the crowd pumping and fans talking, and Roman was smiling. Roman even laughed when Cena said something. I don't know. But Cena is impressed, and by the facial reactions, I can tell Cena's impressed with how Roman, how Roman has been. Like, I think Cena, I'm very surprised that they did not bring up their 2017 feud with each other from No Mercy, and John Cena didn't call him out in his promo cutting. And you know what? Nice. That was actually pretty nice. And the reason that was nice is because look how Roman has come. Roman has come so far with this. Roman has come so far in taking classes and getting the promos right. And, Cena is impressed. Cena is impressed with Roman, and that's a fact. Cena's impressed. So, with 8 days remaining until their highly anticipated clash at SummerSlam, Cena, Reigns face to face. Now, Reigns recognized the accomplishments of Cena. He's obviously one of the greatest of all time. No one can beat him except Roman Reigns. This got highly personal in the words, and I got, woo! There was one thing he said about, humble pie or some shit like that, and that kind of got me laughing. I was like, yo, ooh, okay. I don't know what he said. I was just focused on something else. I think I was on my phone when I was, looking. I was looking at the Twitters. Looking at the Twitter, and funny as it is, I mean, Cena knows how to cut a fucking promo, and Reigns is laughing at what he says, and obviously Cena knows, this whole thing. Reigns gonna beat his ass, and Cena's point of view of the wrestling match is gonna be Roman kicking his ass and Cena taking the title, and I want to bring up one important thing too. Cena literally referenced CM Punk. If you guys did not realize that during his, promo here, he fucking literally made a CM Punk reference. And if you guys don't know what it was when Cena got to the part where he said, "I'm gonna take the title. I'm gonna jump over the barricade. I might just blow you a kiss." That is a reference to CM Punk. I think everybody knew that. But for those who don't know CM Punk was a former WWE wrestler who went MMA, UFC, and fucking got his ass kicked a lot. Then he went back to WWE to host, go part of backstage, and now it's heard that he is now signed a contract with AEW. I don't know if that's true or not, but yeah. See, CM Punk. I love CM Punk. When he was 2013, I guess CM Punk, or towards the end of 2013, CM Punk. That was great, but for anybody who doesn't know CM Punk in the moment and what John Cena was referencing, it was Money in the Bank, 2012. CM Punk took the WWE title, hopped over the barricade. Vince McMahon was at ringside, and as he was hopped over the barricade with the crowd, he raised his title, and then he blew Vince McMahon a kiss, taking the title with him. So that is literally what Cena was referencing, and this could actually be a hint. Cena, with this little comment, this little remark, could just be a hint about fucking that they could have Punk be coming back into AEW. But regardless, Roman brought up Nikki Bella in this. He just made it very personal. But again, all Cena's gonna do at the biggest party of the summer is simple: 1, 2, 3. So I don't know. How what's gonna happen. Moving forward, we got our Intercontinental Championship match after these, spitfire words. And it was King Nakamura taking on Apollo Crews. And this match was so good. I even sat down and watched it. I was happy with the ending of this match. I don't know if I've been vocal about it, but I'm gonna be vocal about it right here and now. I want to talk about Apollo Cruz's title run. He won it at WrestleMania, and all of us, when he turned heel, we all loved his character. His Nigerian descent. So with the championships, this is something that really switches it up for us. In the obviously with the what they want to do with the champions, and I guess it starts with the Intercontinental title. I mean, it makes perfect sense. We were all behind Apollo Cruz's character. The difference is the title run. You see, the title run very different. Apollo Cruz's title run was, in my word, in of course my words, quote, I want to say dry. Quote me on this. I see Apollo Cruz's title run as dry. He defends it on SmackDown, maybe I guess 2-3 weeks after he's already defended it on SmackDown. Doesn't really defend it on pay-per-views as much. I mean, when's the last time you've seen Apollo Cruz defend his title at a pay-per-view? He didn't defend it at Backlash. He did not defend it at a Hell in a Cell. And I doubt the Intercontinental title is not going to be defended at SummerSlam. So that's 3 pay-per-views. The Intercontinental title, or Money in the Bank. Yeah, that's another one. Money in the Bank. He didn't even do Money in the Bank. So there's 3. So I don't think the Intercontinental Championship is going to be defended at SummerSlam. And if it is, it's going to be on kickoff. Because the Intercontinental Champion is just irrelevant at this point. But this is about Apollo Cruz's title run. He did not defend it at Backlash. He did not defend it at Hell in a Cell. And he damn sure did not defend it at fucking Money in the Bank. So that's 3 pay-per-views gone by. No Intercontinental Championship. All happened on SmackDown. All on SmackDown. So Apollo Cruz, his title run was just poor. WWE did a piss poor job on his title run. Not on the character, but when you have the character holding the championship, that character holding the championship is supposed to be a champion, a good dominating champion. Apollo Cruz showed his strength. That's a fact. Showed his strength. And his character got fans kind of went with that character. They love that character. But when you put the title on him and you do a piss poor job at booking him. Yeah, it's because of fucking booking. I want to make that very clear. It's because of booking. Booking is the problem to why Apollo Cruz lost the Intercontinental title to none other than King Shinsuke Nakamura. Your new Intercontinental Champion for the second time, may I add, Shinsuke Nakamura. So, Shinsuke is on fire. They love him, But again, this was pretty great. And what would have been honest? Honestly, I think that it would have been better to have Shinsuke win the title at SummerSlam. But they did it here a week before the final SmackDown before SummerSlam. And it was just, I don't know. I loved it. I loved the title. I was running with it. I was happy that Shinsuke Nakamura won. I was proud. I don't just know how I feel. I feel that Apollo Cruz was just wasted in a sense. He was pissed. It was piss poor booking. They booked him so wrong. They had him defend the Intercontinental title at least a week, 2 to 3 weeks before 2 weeks. So he defended it on SmackDown 1 week. The next week he doesn't. Then that next week he doesn't. There could be a pay-per-view on that week and he does not defend the title. Then it's the same thing again. They book him first week of the first month, nothing. Next week, the second week of the first, nothing. Then you got nothing. So it's like, what? Hello. You're having him defend the title on SmackDown and not on pay-per-views. What the fuck? Anyway, I'm happy for Shinsuke. Congratulations, Shinsuke, becoming new Intercontinental Champion. This was definitely deserved and needed. He's now a king and a champion. I'm happy. I'm happy for the new Intercontinental Champion, Shinsuke Nakamura. Ah, sorry. Ah! Moving on. Revenge time. It's time for the Street Profits. Montez Ford all healed up. Street Profits take on Chad Gable and Otis. And the Street Profits actually won. They defeated Chad Gable and Otis. Pretty great here. We saw high flying action. Montez Ford jumping over the top rope onto Otis. Ended in a pinfall by Street Profits. Angelo Dawkins hitting the beautiful pop up corkscrew neck breaker. 1, 2, 3. It's over. So I'm happy that the Street Profits got their victory. They even got their victory last week against Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. So that's good. They've been building Otis up for much, much, much build for Otis. And hell, I know the Usos are going to retain. And again, I want to make this very clear. My mom's birthday is on the 21st. It's on the day that SummerSlam occurs. But not only that, she shares the same birthday as the Usos, the 21st of August. That is crazy. Okay? So, moving forward, we got Seth Rollins promising the WWE Universe that he will stomp Edge's head into the mat. The thing he should have done back in 2014. And he didn't. So, I really thought that Rollins was going to up the antes here and put a career-threatening match here. If Edge loses, his career is over instantly. That's something, that's what WWE would want to do, Wouldn't that want? I said, that would be a great match. But if it's a singles match, again, perfect. I think it would be better to have the match be a stipulated match and have it be a career-threatening. If Rollins beats Edge, it's done. Edge is done, you know? But yeah, Rollins is going to promise to stomp Edge's head into the mat at SummerSlam. It's going to be a great match anyway. The Mysterios defeat Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. This is actually a really good one, but again, they're looking ahead. They're getting momentum ahead towards their SmackDown Tag Team title match against the Usos, in which I told you again, the Usos will be winning. They will be retaining. My mom has already predicted the Usos. My mom's already made the predictions, and you will get those predictions next week. You will get those next week. Yep, trust me. Next week, you will get those. You will get those. Promise you guys. Next Saturday, on the 21st of August, on SummerSlam Day, I will be doing this, and you will be getting the predictions to SummerSlam. You will. Promise you. It actually make my job a little bit easier if I did that, today. But I'm gonna do it on my mom's birthday. Do it on the Usos' birthday. I'm gonna tell you why my mom could be predicting the right matches. Who knows? I don't know. But anyway, good momentum for the Mysterios winning against Ziggler and Roode. I don't know what's next, but there's that. Corbin has one last plead, and that was to again win a match against Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens came out and told Baron to cut the crap, man, just cut the crap. Owens literally went out there and told Corbin that I'll give you $1,000. And Corbin, obviously, if Corbin lost, he has to stop complaining and asking people for money. He has to stop all that bullshit. He has to fucking do it. He has to work himself. He has to do it himself. He has to do something himself. He has to fight for himself, I guess. And if Corbin beats Owens, Owens will give him $1,000. So $1,000 match, $1,000 match on the line, bro. $1,000. Who won $1,000? Who won $1,000? Corbin, you won $1,000? Okay. Beat Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens pinned Baron Corbin. He failed. He really failed. Very sad, man. I love actually, to be completely honest, Owen's a great character. Owen's a great guy. But Corbin, I love his broke ass gimmick. I love his like fucking whole broke ass gimmick. Corbin, I don't know how to. I don't know. I'm lost for words for this match, honestly. But I was just reading through, that little pause there you probably saw. I was just reading through what Owen, what obviously says here for WWE, what they put on here. But yeah, Corbin more or less wasted time arguing with official is where Owens got the victory. He won't get $1,000. Corbin will not get $1,000 from Owens. He will stop asking people for money. He will even stop asking the WWE Universe for money. You want $1,000, bro? You can kiss my ass. You want 100K? You're gonna have to do something. You're gonna have to work for that money. But then, as we got backstage with fucking Corbin, when Corbin just left, when he got beat by, he got backstage and he was so desperate. Corbin is so desperate. They tried to get an interview with him. Corbin, his eyes popped. His eyes just realized, Big E's right there. Remember, before Bianca Belair was going to come out, Corbin ran up, pushed Big E, and stole his Money in the Bank briefcase. Corbin and Big E feud, that is perfect. That is perfect. For the briefcase, that's perfect. I like it. We might see it on SmackDown. Big E versus Corbin. Corbin walks out with the Money in the Bank briefcase, getting a world opportunity. He's probably going to, if Corbin next week goes and cashes in on Reigns, he just wasted Big E's fucking contract. My God. But anyway, we then got to see a contract signing between Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair with Sonya Deville in the ring. It was the final thing we got on SmackDown. But Sasha Banks had to make sure that this contract signing was official. Wanted to make sure that it was highly official. So she had some talks in the back with two women that I don't know why in the fuck Banks would hire to attack Bianca. Sasha Banks hired Carmella and Zelina Vega. Carmella, for one, who actually went up against Banks at one time before. Remember that piss poor feud too? Yeah. Those two women, Zelina Vega and Carmella, came out and just fucking literally attacked Bianca. Just sat there, Bianca Belair. It was just bad. It was bad. What would be nice is if next week we get a 6-woman tag team match. It'll be Sasha Banks, Carmella, Zelina Vega taking on Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, and Toni Storm. And this is perfect. This is fucking perfect. This right here, that 6-woman tag team match is likely to occur. And I'm going to tell you, if it does happen, remember, I don't work with WWE. I have no association. Only association I have with WWE is that I'm predictor of, not for, okay? So I can't tell anybody what goes on in WWE. But that is likely going to happen. And it ties in a lot of ends here. If the 6-woman tag team match is going to happen. Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks got their feud. If you remember, Liv Morgan has been in a feud with Carmella and Zelina Vega. And if I'm not mistaken, Toni Storm was in a match with Vega, and Toni Storm won. That's the last time we saw her. So, Toni Storm just might need to, be in this match to handle Zelina Vega, Carmella and Liv, Bianca and Sasha. That fits it perfectly. It ties up everything in here. That 6-woman tag team match should happen on SmackDown next week. It'd be nice to see it. And we should give it to Bianca Belair. The win should go to Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, and Toni Storm because, again, we need to, one, if you make Belair lose, Liv Morgan lose, and Toni Storm lose, they'll probably fall down the rank. Well, in the ranking system, they'll probably fall down. Because Toni Storm will get a 1-on-1. She lost one, she wins one. Bianca Belair won't have any momentum. Sasha Banks has the most momentum in this fucking going into this match. So Bianca Belair winning makes sense. And then Liv Morgan, the fact that she hasn't been put on SmackDown lately in matches, the last match we saw her in was Money in the Bank and she lost. Having her lose would fucking kind of make her fall down ranking wise. So this is going to be a heated match. I can't wait for it. But again, that is likely going to be the match for next week. Toni Storm, Bianca Belair, and Liv Morgan taking on Sasha Banks, Carmella, and Zelina Vega. I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to see what happens. But that brings us to the end of SmackDown. So there's some other things to talk about here. Because right after this, right after SmackDown, changed the channel to TNT and watched AEW Rampage. Now, I'm going to be talking about it right now and my thoughts on it. So let me recap what went down on AEW Rampage. We saw Kenny Omega taking on Christian Cage for the Impact TNA/TNA Championship. And it was a great match. Loved it. It was great. Got some good, knee strikes in there from Kenny Omega. Got some great, great distraction. And with the Young Bucks trying to come in and save Mr. Kenny. Unfortunately, it did not work because Christian Cage came back, hit the kill switch onto the chair, mind you. Chair got thrown out. Christian Cage, 1, 2, 3. Christian Cage is your new Impact TNA champion. He is. So, I don't know. I don't know how this is going. I don't know how it's going to work, but it's better if you have Christian Cage as the Impact champion and then he loses a match for the TNA on, Impact. So, that'll be nice to see, but Kenny Omega getting defeated, that's great. It's better for Cage to keep one title opposed to two, but if he wants to keep the 2 championships, it makes him a little bit strong. Kenny Omega still has the AEW championship, and losing this match, it kind of seems to me like AEW wants to make Kenny Omega, get his, make him more on AEW Dynamite. I think that's telling me the case because they won't just put the title on Cage if they didn't want to use him more on AEW, So I think they want to use Kenny Omega more on AEW. But this could be the downfall for Kenny. The Young Bucks could be losing their titles to Jurassic Express. I just love, and then next week, I just can't wait for next week in Dynamite. Chris Jericho having to come out, with no Judas music, no Judas entrance, and no Judas effect. He can't use the Judas effect to win his match. So he's going to either have to use the Code Breaker or the Walls of Jericho. But yeah, he's going to have to do it somehow. And he's been using it. And I've noticed that in the match. Yeah, he won. I can't wait for that match. That match is going to be something very great to see. But I'll tell you right now, I won't play the Judas song when I watch it when he comes out. When he comes out, I think everybody's going to start singing it. I don't know where they're going to start. I don't know if they're going to go. I don't know if the fans are going to start with let me go, man. Or they're just going to go straight for you are beautiful on the inside. You are innocence personified. I don't know if they're gonna, start there and start singing the song, and then they, it's like a chorus, kind of like a chorus, So I don't know if they're gonna go there or what they're gonna do. But I can see the fans, what have I become? I could just see it. I can see the fans sing to Jericho for his music, and they're going to. They're going to. You can't say no. Again, I just love this, so I can't wait for that. Moving on to what happened next, we had ourselves a TNT Championship match. Miro taking on some luchador, and this luchador was actually on fire. This guy literally went on fire with it. He right before the bell ring just attacked Miro, hitting him with a little tornado DDT, and Miro getting out of the ring. But he was pumped up. He was ready for this match, But towards the end, obviously, Miro got the upper hand, hit him with the macho kick, put him into his lock, and it was over. It was over. Who can defeat Rusev? Or, sorry, who can defeat Miro? My mistake. Who can defeat Miro? And I actually have one person who I think who could defeat Miro. If you guys did not see on Twitter, recently released superstar Bronson Reed has sent a message on Twitter hinting that he could be going to AEW, and I would love to see this man on AEW. A killer in the ring, a monster in the ring to face Miro for the championship. You know, obviously it would be nice to see Miro has conquered this big monster. It'd be nice to see that. Get their feud already up there. But hell, yeah, I think that Bronson Reed should go to AEW and be called. I think his name is Jonah. Yeah, Joha or Jonah something. I don't know what it could be, but he should go to WWE has trademarked the name Bronson Reed, so he can't use it, so he has to move to a different name. So again, I think it'd be best for Bronson Reed it'd be nice for Bronson Reed to go to AEW and be the challenger for Rusev. Or sorry, why do I keep saying Rusev? I think it's because he's just been in WWE for so long. Miro. It'd be nice for him and Miro to fight each other. I can't wait to see it. It's gonna be fucking great if Bronson Reed hits the scenes in AEW. Miro, TNT champion, still your champion, Miro. Good match. Good match. We got some backstage interview with Christian Cage and then champion. We saw Orange Cassidy in the back. We're also going to get next week on Dynamite, you're going to get Sting and Darby Allin taking on 2.0. Also known as Everrise. But anyway, you're going to get that tag team action. Tag team championship match on Dynamite. Again, Jurassic Express taking on Young Bucks for the tag team champions. Yep. So it's going to be interesting, very interesting. But we get to our main event, AEW Women's Championship match. Red Velvet taking on Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. I like this match. It was really great. And I loved how Britt Baker pulled a Roman Reigns. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, it is very clear as day to know what I'm talking about. It should be clear to everyone of what I mean by this. You guys remember the match between Daniel Bryan and Roman? Yep. It happened in Britt Baker's match. So Britt Baker's hand was injured. And usually what she does, she hits her little, claw with that hand. Well, Red Velvet attacked that hand towards the end, attacked that hand, breaking it, and trying to break it. But Britt Baker shifted her body the other way, locking it in and using the other hand to claw in the mouth, making her retain the AEW Women's Championship. So Britt Baker, still your champion. And I say she pulled a Roman Reigns because Roman Reigns did this before during Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns match. They attacked his arm. Daniel Bryan attacked Roman Reigns' arm, when he holds the guillotine, attacked his arm. But Roman then used the other arm and locked it in, shifted it in. The guillotine shifted that arm in. You know what I mean? So he shifted his, whole position from, going like this to then switching over, to the other arm after being injured. So that was pretty interesting to me, knowing that. So again, great show. And the only problem I have with it is my thoughts. I feel like 1 hour after watching SmackDown, though, just 1 hour. Like this is kind of reminds me of NXT when I was on the WWE Network for 1 hour, just 1 hour. That was it. I really think like if they wanted to do this, I think Rampage should be on Thursdays. But again, that's what fans would expect. They expect that to do that because of what's going with NXT, UK on the on Peacock. So I mean, putting on Thursday would be more of a competition for Thursday nights of wrestling, But again, you have Impact on there too, so they can't ruin that. So again, they have really no place to put it other than after SmackDown, 10 to 11. And I'm okay, with it. But again, I kind of just turn off the TV and just get tired. So staying up for a whole nother hour, I mean, yeah. I mean, I think there's not enough AEW here. I don't want to cover AEW on Wednesdays, you know? So I think what's best for me to do is talk about AEW Rampage on Fridays or on Saturdays on the podcast. So Rampage will be now covered with SmackDown. I'm not gonna overlay the whole thumbnail of the video, but again, it'd be nice to just put SmackDown here because I'm covering SmackDown first, and then we'll move on to AEW. Um, I don't know if I will do AEW unless I want to. Um, it's just that I like watching AEW, and I can't wait for next week when we get Jericho and fucking MJF. No Judas entrance, no Judas effect whatsoever. If he uses the Judas effect, no more match. I just can't wait for it. It's gonna be great. Again, I really think like 1 hour just I don't know. I feel like I just want to go to bed right after SmackDown. You know what I mean? I just feel like I want to just go to bed, go to sleep. So you got that. They got to put that factor in there. But I will be putting AEW Rampage on this one on the podcast, basically recapping what happened on AEW Rampage. So yeah, that's going to be new to the Talking Logic. I now want to swing our attention to some other news that's there, which is the Garganos are expecting their first child. Yep, Candice LeRae is pregnant with their first child, and we're happy about. I'm very happy that they sent out a social media post with their expecting their first child, baby wrestling in February 2022. So this is very, very happy. This is a real life child being added to the Way family. So congratulations, Johnny and Candice. You guys are going to make great, great parents. I promise you are. Very promise. Promise you guys you're going to make great parents. I know it. I know they're going to make great parents. I know they are. There was a story that Keith Lee brought around why he wasn't, on TV. He explained his absence in a video, explaining that he almost died. Now, near, I want to say January, February, around that time, which was Elimination Chamber, he contracted an infection. This infection could have been COVID related because he also infected Mia, his now wife, with it. So, because she was trying to take care of him. What happened is that this infection got worse and worse and worse and almost killed him. It did. It almost killed him, but he fought through it. He fought for his life, basically. He fought to survive. So that's why Keith Lee was not around in the company from February up until, I want to say, August. Yeah. Pretty hard to hear that Keith Lee almost died, but it's true. Keith Lee almost, big words, capitalized in the description, almost died. So I really wanted to talk about, So Keith Lee almost dying, that's a big thing because, it's there. And on the topic of Keith Lee, I want to, and again, condolences and prayers to Keith Lee, but I think he's better now, It was just that he can only light walk during that time. He said, quote, light walk, he can only do. But yeah, Keith Lee, I'm very sorry to hear that happened to you. I hope he's doing very well. He's doing better. Condolences again, prayers to him. Still, he had to fight for his life. So again, Keith Lee, keep doing what you're doing, man. Let's jump into WWE Theories, which I was supposed to do yesterday. Unfortunately, I didn't, or Thursday. Technical difficulties here. On Thursday, it was raining, it was storm, the power went out. Very troubles. Friday, I had many stuff to do. I thought I would have time to do it, but I couldn't do it. So today we're going to do it. I think the people I said was talking about Keith Lee. I think I said Mandy Rose and our king Shinsuke Nakamura. So one theory I wanted to talk about was what happened to Keith Lee. I think we can all now get that out of the way, which is what happened to Keith Lee, from February to time. Like theories, like one theory I had was that he contracted COVID. Another theory was also that him and Vince McMahon obviously did not see eye to eye, and Keith Lee was going to be a release superstar within the coming months in the company. But that was wrong. It was because he was infected and he almost died. So we can move on from that theory. We can close that case. There's nothing else I want to talk about with Keith Lee. All I wanted to theorize was what happened between February until when he came back. So let's get that out. Let's move on. Or July, not August. He can't come. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to Mandy Rose. Why is the real theory is Mandy Rose breaking up with Dana Brooks. Dana Brooks not being seen on TV. Dana Brooks is going to be a release superstar. I guarantee it. She'll be another one. They haven't shown her on TV after her and Mandy Rose broke up as a tag team. So I still question what is going on with Dana Brooks and Mandy Rose. One theory is that Mandy Rose wanted, one theory is that Mandy Rose went to Raw or went to NXT with an exchange of Aaliyah for Raw. But we haven't seen Aaliyah on Raw, so that really begs the question. It could also be setting up a big match for NXT, Mandy Rose versus what's that fucking girl's name? Oh my god, I fucking know her name. What is it? Frankie Monet. Frankie Monet. Frankie Monet and fucking Mandy Rose 1-on-1 in just 1-on-1 match. Simple. I think that's what they kind of wanted to go for. Or just have Mandy Rose and Frankie Monet be a tag team together. Or be a team together. Pair it up. I don't know. But it just seems to me like, come on, man. Plus, also, like, Aaliyah on Raw? Why would you want to put Aaliyah on Raw? Why don't you put her on SmackDown? There's not that many women on SmackDown. You might want to utilize some of that. You might want to utilize her. Right? Wouldn't you want to utilize her a lot? I don't know, man. I don't know. Again, SummerSlam is not in my control of predicting now. It is my mom's because it's her birthday. It's going to be about her. And I'm going to be watching that. What is in my control, though, moving forward, actually, I wanted to get off of Mandy Rose, but I don't know. I don't know what happened between Mandy Rose. I think it's just, my theory is that it was to make it, basically get Frankie Monet opponent that worthy of her, of beautiness, I guess. Before I continue with Shinsuke Nakamura, I want to talk about why I'm not predicting SummerSlam. Obviously, I told you guys, my mom's birthday, she's going to be predicting SummerSlam. Now, she won't be on here, saying that because she doesn't know about the wrestling world. She doesn't like it. That's not her. But, again, she's my mom, and she's going to be predicting the matches. So, whatever matches come about, she'll predict. I will tell her, who to go for, and I'll tell her who she wants to win. I'll put it down the predictions, and I will try to back it up as best I can. I will also say on here that right now, like, I think the other person will win, but again, it's going to go down. Though she might have control of SummerSlam, my predicting. So if I get any of the predictions wrong, again, it's not my predicting. Again, that's not some of them is not who I would predict. I will tell you who I would predict right now. So the matches we have right now so far that it says the women's triple threat match for the Raw Women's Champion, Universal Championship match, WWE, SmackDown Women's, SmackDown Tag Team, United States, Edge and Rollins, McIntyre, and Jinder Mahal just got added yesterday. So my predictions would have been for those matches. Let me just tell you my predictions for that match of who I would go for. So for the Raw Women's Championship, either Nikki Ash retains or Charlotte Flair wins. That's my prediction. Universal Championship match, Roman Reigns retains. I mean, Cena's going to go back to movies, and why put the title on him? Well, you want to make him 17-time champion? Cool. Wow, great. Not worth it. Not worth it. Especially if Cena has to go back to Hollywood. Yep, Roman Reigns is going to beat his ass. He's going to retain. Cena's going to go back to Hollywood. Bobby Lashley and Goldberg. Bobby Lashley retains. This is because Goldberg is just old, rusty, and I don't want to see him with the I don't want to see the WWE Championship on him. Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks. I would say I don't know. This one is really a big question mark for me. My mom has went with Sasha Banks, so I don't know. But I still feel like you know what? That's not the match that was supposed to happen. Here's how it was supposed to happen. Had Bayley not got injured during her training for her I Quit match, Bianca Belair would have won against Bayley. That's a fact. Carmella would have been the SummerSlam opponent. Or Sasha Banks returns and we get a triple threat match. And this makes perfect sense because there was going to be a triple threat match at SummerSlam, but it was going to be for the SmackDown Women's Championship, not the Raw. So they needed to make sure that there was a triple threat match, and it was going to be Ash, Charlotte, and Rhea. So that means that if that was the case, if Bayley never got injured, I feel like plans would have not been. There would have been different plans. Nikki Ash probably would have still won the Money in the Bank briefcase regardless. Charlotte Flair wouldn't have not fucking, they would have done Flair and Rhea at SummerSlam again. Charlotte would retain, but Nikki Ash would come in and steal the show and fucking cash in, Then, we would have saw either Sasha Banks or Bianca Belair win the title, but again, this is put in there. We've been waiting for Sasha Banks to return. This is a new Sasha Banks I'm liking, but I don't know how it would go. Again, Bianca Belair's title run, I don't know. After Bayley got injured, it took a different course, and that's sad. It's sad to say, but that took a different course. I really think that they shouldn't just write Bayley off of TV. They should just have her do mini stuff, kind of like the Miz. He was in a wheelchair. He's still on TV. He was injured. But then he stood up on Raw, and Damian Priest, and he just started running. So Miz literally kind of faked his injury. But again, Bayley should just she's really injured, but still, come on. But yeah, I don't know, big question mark on the SmackDown Women's Championship match, but again, we'll have to wait and see what goes on. If I were to predict that match based off of, how it goes, I'm looking at Bianca Belair winning this match. SmackDown Tag Team titles, obviously, you guys know I'm going to go the Usos because, again, WWE knows how to fucking, you could say I was going to go Mysterios because, Mysterio's going to win back the titles. They're not winning back the titles. No, they're not. Unfortunately, they're not. In a twisted events, Dominic could turn on his father. Setting up a good fucking little program with them. But again, the Usos are retaining for one big reason. You guys remember Hell in a Cell, right? Remember how it was Father's Day on that day? Remember Cesaro and Seth Rollins? Cesaro lost to Seth Rollins, and the only reason I could find that it's a reason why Seth Rollins won was because it was Father's Day. Yeah. Cesaro isn't a father. Seth Rollins is, though. So they gave Seth Rollins the win. So if they're going to do it on holidays, they must do it for people's birthdays, right? So the Usos are retaining the tag team titles. It's their fucking birthday. Why would they lose the tag team titles on their birthday? That'd be a shitty fuck. Sheamus and Damian Priest. Oh my god, this is another one that's a question mark for me. It's like, man, who's going to win it? But I think Sheamus has been United States champion for a while. You already had Intercontinental champion Apollo Crews lose his title, so Damian Priest wins this match, I think. Edge and Seth Rollins. My mom's going Seth Rollins, but my prediction would have been Edge. I think Edge deserves this win. Had she have known what happened back in 2014, boom, simple, easy. Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal, obviously, they could just give the win to Jinder because they made Drew this big badass. So Jinder could win, but again, they want to see Drew prevail and get that big pop at SummerSlam, so they might just give Drew McIntyre the win, make him look big. I put another one on here. It's not confirmed. It's AJ Styles and Almas taking on RK Bro, and again, like I said before, I said this very back in the past. RK Bro is going to win the tag team titles. We're gonna see that. We're gonna get that. That has to happen. It needs to happen. It needs to. It just needs to happen. But anyway, let's continue with the theory. Shinsuke Nakamura. One theory I had with Shinsuke Nakamura is the king. They made Shinsuke Nakamura big. They pushed him big time. Shinsuke Nakamura is up there now. Like ranking wise, he's probably in the top 10 in WWE right now. But why did he become king? What made WWE like, hey, we're gonna make you king, Nakamura? I think it was because they didn't have really much of a gimmick for Shinsuke in the first place. And they wanted to make a gimmick for Shinsuke. That's my theory on it. Another theory for Shinsuke was his what was it? His change in his music. Uh One theory could be that they wanted to make, a lot of people like rock and roll, so they wanted to get Rick Boo's, and they love the big Rick Boo so much, the old guitar. So possibility that Rick Boo's knows how to play the guitar very well. So they made him do his little, uh, that type fucking guitar deal. So it's like, it's great. Thumbs up. Love Shinsuke Nakamura. I just think that the whole King gimmick is great too. I think the whole King gimmick is perfect. It fits him so well. And the broke ass gimmick for Corbin, it fits very well. It ties in every little possible way. It's so good for him. Um, but yeah, that's WWE theories I wanted to do. It was pretty short, I know. Um, Moving forward, I always do this. I really think that everybody needs to prepare for SummerSlam. Bianca Belair needs to get some momentum. She'll probably win the 6-woman tag team match on SmackDown if that is confirmed. Actually, I am supposed to actually tell you what is happening for Raw. Usually I do it after, but yes, I will tell you right now. Um, I'll let you guys know right now. Okay, so we got a couple things. So we got big things. We got Goldberg and Bobby Lashley will meet face to face, kind of like John Cena and Roman Reigns did. We will get a handicap match. Drew McIntyre will battle Veer and Shanky, and we are going to get one big colossal match: Randy Orton and Almas in a match. It will be Randy versus Almas, the giant Almas, after making a mockery out of him, trying to hit the RKO. I don't know how this match is gonna go. I don't even know if they're gonna let Almas. I don't know if they're gonna make Randy and Almas. I don't know if they're gonna give Almas the win, but Randy will likely handle it. Randy will handle it, man. But yeah, I think that it's safe to say that they're gonna get their tag team title match. They have to. WWE has to give it to them. I don't know how. I can't see them not getting their tag team title match and not winning the Raw Tag Team Champions. It's like, what? Come on. They gotta win. They just got to win. So moving forward, I think the best word in this is momentum. Everyone needs it. They need momentum. Everyone in this fucking company needs momentum. The champions need the most momentum. Some of the challengers need the most momentum. The champions need the most momentum. Everybody needs momentum. So moving forward, everyone who is going to have a match at SummerSlam, you need momentum. McIntyre is going to get that momentum by defeating Veer and Shanky. Randy Orton should get that momentum. Bianca Belair needs to get that momentum. The Mysterio's already got it. The Usos need some momentum. Hell, Edge needs some momentum. I'm waiting for the momentum to come. But yeah, that's all I got for today. Thank you guys so much for joining. This was Talking Logic, the wrestling podcast from yours truly, Logical Predictor. It has been fun. I loved having you here. I will be back next week to predict SummerSlam. because of my mom's birthday. I will also be doing Raw and NXT reviews on Wednesday, and I will be predicting, because though my mom has control of SummerSlam, predicting SummerSlam, I have full control of predicting NXT Takeover. So I'm going to be predicting NXT. I'm going to be predicting NXT Takeover 36. So thank you guys so much for joining. It's been fun. It's been a blast. I got some other things to do today. So I hope you guys stay safe. It's pretty nice outside, I guess, today over where I am. But it's been real. Love everyone. Stay positive. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. I'll see you guys next week when we predict SummerSlam.